Welcome to another installment of History at Home with the Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum. My name is Jillian and I'm on the creative team. We are anxiously awaiting the chance to reopen our doors, so for now, we'll just continue to bring history to you from the comfort of our own homes. And I'm really excited to bring you one of my favorite stories about a participant from the Boston Tea Party. This man goes by the name of George Robert Twelves Hewes, and he just so happens to be one of the longest living participants in Tea Party history. While in his 90s, George's stories about the time of the American Revolution caught the eye of a biographer called B.B. Thatcher, whose book, Traits of the Tea Party, feature vivid depictions from Mr. Hewes' memory, including a story from the night of December 16th, 1773. So let's take a look at what happened to our dear friend George Hewes on this night in another segment I like to call Portraits of the Participants. George Hewes is a shoemaker here in Boston, and on the night of December 16, 1773, he was assigned as a lookout on board the brig Beaver. He was to keep his eyes peeled for any would-be thieves this evening, people trying to steal the East India Company tea for themselves instead of destroying it in Boston Harbor. If George saw anyone stealing the tea, he was to whistle loudly and cry out, "Thief!" Well, George stood alert this evening, and as crate after crate of tea was destroyed, everything seemed to be going to the plan. However, George then recognized a gentleman he knew, a man by the name of Captain Charles O'Connor, who was acting rather strangely. As O'Connor was destroying the tea, tossing crate after crate overboard, George noticed that the man would fumble nervously with the lining of his pocket. Watching intently, George noticed that O'Connor was actually taking handfuls of tea and shoving it into his waistcoat pocket. Eventually, O'Connor's coat was stuffed so full he resembled that of a scarecrow. Well, this made George mad. He whistled loudly and cried out, "Thief!" The scared O'Connor tried to flee, but was grabbed and stopped by the crowd. They grabbed him by the back of the coat, ripped it off of his back, spilling tea everywhere. One of the leaders of the Beaver's boarding party asked that the coat be hung from the whipping post as a warning to anyone who tried to steal any tea from this evening, that they would suffer the same fate as Captain Charles O'Connor. O'Connor was sent home on his way, stripped of his coat and his dignity. George Hewes could lead the destruction, proud of his actions. Huzzah! George Hewes sat for a portrait by Joseph Cole in 1835 and is one of the very few Tea Party participants who we have a visual record of. Thank you again for listening to one of my favorite stories about the Boston Tea Party. I hope you've been enjoying our History at Home series during your time at home. If there is anything you want to hear about, please feel free to get back to us via the comment section or direct message. And if you're looking for more information about our museum, feel free to visit our website at www.bostonteapartyship.com. You'll also find the link to our online store, which is still taking online orders for things such as tea, museum apparel, other exclusives, and more. One of my favorite items still available online is this, Defiance of the Patriots by Benjamin Carp. If you're looking for more information, especially about the participants of the Boston Tea Party and what happened, this book is the one to read. Thank you again for joining me, and here's the next episode of History at Home. Huzzah!
Of gray, I being somewhat jolly, I persuaded her to stay, and with many kind embraces, I stroked her double chin, saying how d'ye do, and how d'ye do, and how d'ye do again.